Front and Center. Front and Center. A focus on important and significant developments affecting the lives of Filipinos, not only in the Philippines, but also those living and working around the world. Join us in Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Welcome to Front and Center, where we focus on developments in the Philippines, legislation that provides policies and directions that strives to promote a better economy for the country, issues that concern the welfare and well-being of every Filipino. All of these and more will be Front and Center. And you can watch this program live on our Facebook page and also on our delayed broadcast through YouTube channel. That's Radyo Pilipinas World or Radyo Pilipinas World Service, and also on our audio streaming through Evox PBS receiver app, also on our shortwave broadcast through the following shortwave frequencies in the English program. So that's 15.640 megahertz, 17.750 megahertz, and 21.720 megahertz. And this is your host, Jerome Toledo. Let's begin Front and Center on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
So just last night, the fugitive former lawmaker, party list representative Zaldico, has been arrested in Prague in the Czech Republic or Czechia for alleged illegal entry. That's what Malacanang confirmed last Thursday night. That's on April 16. Presidential Communications Office or PCO Acting Secretary Dave Gomez said Ko is currently in custody with the Czech authorities, and the Philippine authorities are coordinating now with Czech authorities to arrange Ko's return to the country. So he will be returning to the Philippines, but there is no definite date yet when it will happen. And President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. also announced the arrest of the former lawmaker in a social media post Thursday night. And former Representative Ko, which the former chairperson of the committee or House Committee on Appropriations that oversees the national budget, had earlier been linked to alleged irregularities involving flood control projects. And he was declared, the former representative, fugitive from justice after failing to submit to the jurisdiction of the quasi-judicial court, which is the Sandigan Bayan, which issued arrest warrants against him and several others in November 2025 over alleged irregularities in a multi-million peso road dye project in Nauhan Oriental, Mindoro, and reported arrest of former Ako Bicol representative in Prague, Czech Republic on April 16, 2026 for alleged illegal entry in the country has triggered a mix of reactions from the pro-administration and also from lawmakers, ranging from official praise for law enforcement to skepticism about the political motivation surrounding the case. And also, Ko was arrested amid ongoing allegations of his involvement in a multi-billion peso flood control scam. Like what we have mentioned, the irregularities in a road dike project in Oriental Mindoro province. And President Marcos Jr. said, or as mentioned, he confirmed the arrest of the lawmaker, stating that earlier that Representative Ko's world is shrinking and accusing him of weaving false stories to avoid accountability and hence running from justice. And the president challenged Ko to return to the Philippines, take an oath on his allegations regarding the budget insertions, and stop pointing fingers. So that's what the President Marcos Jr.'s earlier statement said a few months ago. And Malacanang earlier questioned the credibility of Ko's earlier revelations, calling them scripted and quote-unquote a comedy series rather than a genuine expose. So that's what the Malacanang said when they found out the revelations of a former lawmaker. And meanwhile, the pro-administration voices argued that cause stories were quickly debunked and that he failed to present a concrete proof, and characterizing him as a fugitive attempting to stir up political drama. And if you can recall, there was a revelation video that former lawmaker has posted online, revealing the connection of President Marcos Jr. as well as lawmakers in that particular multi-billion peso flood control project. And that particular scenario is part of the president's revelation as well, when he exposed that anomalous flood control projects in his State of the Nation address last July 2025. And this one, a year on now, here we are, the arrest, or the authorities or foreign authorities have arrested Zaldico. And meanwhile, in the House of Representatives, they have previously revoked Representative Co's travel clearance and ordered his return within 10 days, a move he described as a result of pressure rather than proper procedures. Because, as we know, uh, upon the expose of the flood control project, and at the same time the fallout of that particular scandal, that prompted the former lawmaker to uh, to get out of the country and be in the run, or hide somewhere in Europe. And now the Philippine authorities has learned that Zaldico is in Europe, particularly in this particular country in Czech Republic, particularly in Prague city. And many voices, particularly the Communications Undersecretary Claire Castro, she said that she calls for the lawmaker to face the allegations in court, highlighting the need for justice regarding the flood control scandal. And the cause arrest is seen as a pivotal moment in the investigation in the 2025 flood control scam, with his expected return in the Philippines. That will likely trigger a further legal battle. So, because it's not just about cause that is currently facing charges over the anomalous flood control projects, but several lawmakers are facing these charges of amassing a large amount of money, and that amounts to corruption. So they will be facing charges as well. And one of them is the former Senator Ramon Pong Revilla Jr. So he will be facing charges regarding the anomalous flood control projects. As far as I can remember, he's being charged over a flood control project there in the Pandi town in Bulacan province, and the case there is ongoing at the Sandigan Bayan. So we'll leave it there, because this development is still developing as we speak, because there is no extradition treaty between the Philippines and the Czech Republic. So we will have to know when will Zaldico return to the country, and how the Philippine government will expedite his return here in the Philippines, so that he can face those charges and allegations that is being hurled against him. So this is a wait and see development, but the government is hopeful that his return to the country will be expedited, and he will return in a quick fashion. So we will have to check and see if the former lawmaker will be returning to the country anytime soon or sooner. So we'll have to watch out for that. And also, since we are talking about the people running away from justice, because fugitive businessman Charlie Atong Ang was spotted in the Calabarzon region about 2 weeks ago, where pursuing authorities missed him by a day. So that's what Interior Secretary John Vic Rimulya bared on Thursday. And the Interior Secretary earlier said Atong Ang was evading arrest and narrowly evaded arrest 2 weeks ago, but he refused to disclose the area. So that's for security reasons. So that's why they did not want to disclose the exact location of the fugitive. And Calabarzon is composed of the provinces of Cavite, Laguna, Batangas, Rizal, and Quezon. So this 5 areas in that particular region is where is Atong Ang is hiding. So the authorities are actively searching that area. And also, if we can recall, Secretary Remulla said that Atong Ang was spotted outside of the country, but now the message now is the fugitive is now located in the provinces of Cavite, or either of these provinces in the Calabarzon region. So we will have to wait and see if they can found the fugitive Atong Ang in those provinces. And meanwhile, courts in Laguna and Batangas issued non-bailable warrants against Ang for kidnapping and serious illegal detention linked to the disappearances of 34 cockfight enthusiasts. And 20 of his co-accused are already in police custody. And as of the latest now, the Interior Department is offering a 20 million peso reward for anyone who will point Ang's location, and eventually for that will lead him to his arrest. So the agency is offering a large sum of money for someone who can lead them to the arrest of the king of the cockfight entrepreneur. So we'll have to check on that as well, if the search for Atong Ang will be over in the next few weeks or months. So we will have to wait and see for that as well. And more stories coming your way as we tackle more developments here in the Philippines here, and in the program Front and Center on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Stay tuned.
Garantisadong solusyon at aksyon ang handog sa iyo ng bagong Pilipinas Presidential Action Center. Sundin lang ang mga sumusunod para makakuha ng appointment. Para sa wala pang eGov PH app account, panoorin ang video para malaman kung paano gumawa ng account. Kung meron ng account sa eGov PH app, mag-login dito. Saka hanapin ang online registration tab para sa bagong Pilipinas Presidential Action Center. Pindutin ito para makita ang available na government services. Piliin ang serbisyo na iyong kailangan mula sa listahan. I-upload ang requirements ng serbisyong kailangan mo. Pumili ng petsa at oras kung kailan nais pumunta sa bagong Pilipinas Presidential Action Center. I-submit na ang iyong application at bigyan ng pagkakataon na ma-review ang iyong isinumiting requirements. Hintayin ang QR code para sa kumpirmasyon ng iyong schedule. Makakatanggap ka ng text message para malaman kung naaprubahan ito. Sakaling hindi ito maaprubahan, makakatanggap ka rin ng text message para ipaalam ang kulang na requirements, saka subukang mag-register ulit. Kung nakatanggap na ng kumpirmasyon, maaari nang pumunta sa bagong Pilipinas Presidential Action Center sa napiling schedule, dala ang QR code at ang mga isinumiteng requirements. Huwag kalimutang dumating sa itinakdang araw at oras ng iyong appointment. Pinapaalala rin na siguruhing may kumpirmadong schedule bago pumunta sa bagong Pilipinas Presidential Action Center para maiwasang magpabalik-balik. Simple at user-friendly ang pagpapa-appointment dito, kaya huwag nang mangamba dahil sa bagong Pilipinas Presidential Action Center, tulong ay abot kamay na.
Mabilis ang trivia, dagdag talino, Heto na ang Dagling Kaalaman.
Alam nyo ba, kahit napakalakas ng isang bagyo, may partitong tahimik at kalmado. Ito ang tinatawag na mata ng bagyo. Pero, huwag magpaloko. Pagkatapos ng mata, susunod ang eyewall, kung saan nararanasan ang pinakamalakas na hangin at ulan na kayang magdulot ng matinding pinsala. Kaya tandaan, kapag biglang tumahimik sa gitna ng bagyo, hindi pa tapos ang panganib.
Kaunting kaalaman na malaking dagdag talino. Abangan muli ang susunod na Dagling Kaalaman.
Magandang araw, si Dingdong Dantes po ito. Nakatira ka ba malapit sa dagat? Uy, sana all by the beach. Pero alam mo bang at risk kayo sa storm surge o daluyong ng bagyo? Storm surge ang tawag sa malalaking alon na nabubuo dahil sa malakas na hangin. At hindi lang ito basta-basta alon na. Pwede itong lumaki ng katumbas ng 2 palapag na bahay. Intense. Kaya naman, kung may banta ng storm surge sa inyong lugar, mag-evacuate na agad bago pa man dumating ang bagyo. Hindi na kailangan magpanik dahil #panatag ang may alam.
Maging panatag Pilipinas.
Front and center. Front and center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Welcome back to Front and Center on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Still with me, Jerome Toledo. And let's proceed here on the issue of the cyanide poisoning in the West Philippine Sea, the cyanide poisoning incident, because the Chinese efforts to deny and tag the cyanide incident in the vicinity of BRP Sierra Madre, which is stationed in the Ayungin Shoal over the West Philippine Sea, as a fabrication is what part of China's deceptive messaging, which a ranking of naval officials said on Thursday. And AFP spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea, Roy Vincent Trinidad, said the Philippines is not making a habit to craft tales that would favor its side. So that's what he said. And on the cyanide incident, the Philippine Navy officials said bottles containing the cyanide were confiscated last year, and that it took time to investigate and confirm the incident before making it public. So that clarifies the incident regarding the cyanide poisoning. So it didn't just happen a few weeks ago, but this incident rather happened or took place a year ago, and at the same time our authorities have made a thorough investigation regarding the incident, involving involving rather the Chinese Navy or Chinese maritime unit. And also the official of the Philippine Navy said they shared the incident to show to the Filipinos what the Chinese Communist Party has been doing on Philippine waters. And a ranking National Security Council official said the Philippine Navy seized these bottles from Chinese sampans or a maritime vessel in February 2025 and on October 24, 2025. There are 2 incidents that took place in that particular maritime territory in the Ayungin Shoal in particular. So that's what is the new National Security Advisor. Former AFP General Eduardo Oban Jr. will investigate further if there is a breach of national security that was compromised. So or if the national security has been compromised out of that incident. So we will have to wait on that investigation. So this is a And at the same time, the DFA has already take action regarding the incident in the West Philippine Sea, and they are planning to file a diplomatic protest regarding this incident. And speaking of the defense aspect of our country, the Philippines will fully cooperate with Australia to ensure that the Indo-Pacific region remains secure. So that's what the Defense Department, through Secretary Gibo Chidoro Jr., and he made that statement, he made that statement after the visit of Australian Deputy Defense Minister Richard Marles, and which announced the National Defense Strategy, which calls for the establishment of a defense force completely focused on the challenges of the Indo-Pacific. And Australia is one of the countries in the Indo-Pacific region, as well as Philippines. And Australian Deputy Defense Minister said the NDS 2026 has an integrated investment program. So this is not just about the defense, but also on the economic aspect. It covers economic aspect of the Philippines, which contains an increase in defense spending over the next decade, or 10 years rather. And he also said the Philippines will join Australia in this initiative and other like-minded partners in guaranteeing regional stability through collective deterrence. And Australia is among the 7 nations that will deploy military personnel for this iteration of the Balikatan, which will run from April 20, that's going to be on a Monday, until May 8th. And more than 17,000 troops from the Philippines, United States, Australia, Japan, Canada, France, and New Zealand will take part in this series of military drills. And Secretary Chidoro noted that Philippines and Australia, or the Philippines and Australia's 80-year partnership will be further strengthened by the strategy. And since we're talking about the Balikatan exercises involving the United States military, the Philippine Army Artillery Regiment and the U.S. Army Pacific 25th Infantry Division fired an M142 HIMARS, or the High Mobility Artillery Rocket System, during the live fire phase of the Salaknib drills. And Army spokesperson Lieutenant or Colonel Louis de Maala said the activity took place in a town in Nueva Ecija, and those HIMARS is classified as a long range and multiple launch rocket system mounted on a truck. And those are 6 reduced range practice rockets that is already involved in that particular exercise, are capable of launching missiles in rapid fire, and its guided rockets can reach targets within a 15-kilometer range. So that's a part of the training that we are getting from the United States. And also involved this one is the exercise, or those exercises is a component of Salaknib designed to enhance the interoperability. So that's what I'm talking about, the interoperability and the readiness of the Philippine Army to tackle the unforeseen situation. And this year's Salaknib Phase 1 drills run from April 6 until today, April 17, and will be followed by the Balikatan exercises, then Phase 2 from May to June. And also on that particular exercise, 7,000 combined Filipino, American, and Australian and Japanese troops will participate in that exercise. And the multilateral exercises will focus on maritime, territorial defense, humanitarian assistance, and disaster response, as well as the amphibious and combined arms operation. And the Army's elevation of its exercises signals its readiness and firm resolve to respond to multiple threats. So that's what the Philippine Army said. And meanwhile, the this year's 2026 Balikatan between the Philippines and the United States and other participating nations will be more dynamic. So that's what the armed forces said. And the Balikatan will also feature missile defense exercises and live fire drills. So this is a part of the apart from the Salakniv exercise that will the multilateral countries will participate. So this one is a bilateral exercise between the United States and the Philippines. And also the integrated air and missile defense will take place as well in a naval station in Zambales, and as well as in Palawan, also in Lawag, in Ilocos Norte, and another location in Ilocos Norte. And despite those fast-paced drills, the AFP assured the public that safety is still paramount. So, meaning to say, those military exercises are off limits, and at the same time they are exercising safety when conducting live fire exercises, so that they will avoid miscalculations, and as well as damaging or injuring civilians near the area of exercises. All right, and more stories coming your way, and developments here in the Philippines when Front and Center returns. Don't go away.
Itinuloy na po natin ang zero balance billing. Libre po. Ibig sabihin, ang serbisyo sa basic accommodation sa ating mga DOH na ospital, wala nang babayaran ang pasyente.
Ang dami pong challenge, hindi po namin alam kung saan namin kukunin, ganon, nag-iisip kung paano namin mababayaran. Siyempre po, masayang-masaya, super saya po dahil na zero billing po kami. Opo, malaking po talaga, malaking tulong po. Mabilis lang din po.
Bayad na ang bill ninyo. Uulitin ko, wala nang kailangan bayaran ng pasyente basta sa DOH Hospital dahil bayad na po ang bill ninyo.
Naiyak ako kasi sobrang saya. Maraming salamat po, Mr. President Bongbong Marcos Jr. Hindi kami nagkamali ng taong ihinalal.
Mabilis ang trivia, dagdag talino. Heto na ang Dagling Kaalaman. Mga kababayan, maging alerto sa rainfall advisories ng Pag-asa. Yellow Rainfall Advisory. Kapag malakas ang ulan, mula 7.5 hanggang 15 millimeters sa loob ng isang oras. Mag-ingat dahil posible itong magdulot ng pagbaha sa mababang lugar. Orange Rainfall Advisory. Mas malakas na ulan, mula 15 hanggang 30 millimeters. Malaki ang posibilidad ng pagbaha, kaya maghanda at maging alerto. Red Rainfall Advisory. Emergency na ito. Higit 30 millimeters ng ulan sa loob ng 3 oras o higit pa. Kapag nakataas ang red advisory sa inyong lugar, huwag mag-aksaya ng oras. Agad na lumikas para sa kaligtasan ng inyong pamilya. Maging handa, makinig sa abiso at laging unahin ang kaligtasan. Kaunting kaalaman na malaking dagdag talino. Abangan muli ang susunod na Dagling Kaalaman.
Front and Center. Front and Center. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
All right, welcome back to Front and Center here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Still with me, Jerome Toledo. And now, while we are discussing the external threats in the Philippines, now we're going in the country, the internal security, particularly in our streets, because the crimes against persons in Metro Manila have declined since April 6 implementation of the Safer Cities initiative. So that's what the Philippine National Police said. And comparative monitoring from March 28 to April 5 and April 6 to 14 showed decreases across major crimes, which is murder, homicide, physical injuries, and rape. So those are 5 focus crimes that the Philippine National Police has mentioned. And in a press briefing, Police Brigadier General Ponce Rogelio Peñones The director for operations of PNP said those number or those decline reflects the continued impact of intensified police visibility and stricter enforcement under the initiative. Meanwhile, Brigadier General Piñones noted that theft case rose by 1.5%, and that's from 272 to 276. So that's one. Meanwhile, the campaign launched by the Interior and Local Government Department enforces ordinances such as 10 p.m. curfew for minors, as well as ban on public drinking and restrictions on shirtless roaming and late night videoke. And on Wednesday, the Philippine National Police or PNP apprehended more than 6,000 violators in Metro Manila alone, which is lower than 9,751 daily average during the first week of the initiative's rollout. And a breakdown of the April 15 data, which Peñones or Brigadier General Peñones said or presented during the briefing, showed that drinking in public remains the most common violation under that Safer City initiative, and which follows by curfew violation and loitering and using karaoke machine beyond 10 p.m. And there were also more than 4,000 violations of other local ordinances recorded. And out of those 6,332 violations, 3,377 people, individuals, were warned and released. And more than 2,800 were fined and 112 were criminally charged. And now, before we conclude our program, let's talk about the assistance provided by the Department of Social Welfare and Development, or DSWD, because on Wednesday they've extended assistance to repatriated overseas Filipino workers affected by the Middle East crisis that's in Tacloban City in Leyte, to provide them with livelihood opportunities as they start anew in their hometown. So this is part of the whole of government approach on addressing the needs of our returnee or the repatriated Filipino workers in the Middle East. And that program, dubbed as Bayanihan para sa Balikbayang Manggagawa, a national reintegration network regional fair, the activity aims to make various government programs and services accessible to the repatriated OFWs as part of the Marcos Jr. administration's call for whole of government approach for the sector. And according to Social Welfare's spokesperson, Assistant Secretary Irene Dumlao, the department conducted a profiling and orientation activity for the returning OFWs under the Sustainable Livelihood Program. And during that event, the SLP profiled and gave orientation to some 22 overseas Filipino workers affected by the crisis, and also 100 overseas Filipino workers with different circumstances. And aside from the SLP, the assistance provided by the Social Welfare and Development, which is the assistance to individuals in crisis situation, or AICS program, extended financial assistance to 23 repatriated OFWs affected by the Middle East crisis, and one OFW who was not affected by the overseas tension but is experiencing a crisis. And as of this time, the DSWD has extended psychosocial first aid to 2,700 OFWs affected by the tensions in the Gulf region. And other programs, the returning OFWs were able to avail themselves of at that regional fair were the following: the job opportunities, medical assistance, training vouchers, and loan services, among others. So all in all, the government is remains committed in helping our overseas Filipino workers returning to our country and give them assistance and other needs that they may need when they return and they start a new life here in the country. And we are expecting that more Filipinos from the Middle East will be returning anytime soon. So there will be more assistance that the government will offer to them in the next coming days. And with that, we now conclude this edition of Front and Center on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Together with our technical team, headed by Mr. Milo Junella. On Wirecast and audio streaming, we have Mr. Hiro Locero. And this is your host, Jerome Toledo. Until next time, mabuhay.
You have just heard and watched Front and Center. Front and Center. Join us again for another edition here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Front and Center.